Mend with me. Hi, my name's Lauren. I teach visible mending, and today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to hem your jeans using hand embroidery. The supplies you'll need are scissors, needle, and thread. If you have an iron, that will come in super handy, and same with straight pins. I'm going to use a pair of pants that I already have and like the length of as a guide to cutting my new pair of pants. Of course, you can always measure and decide how much you want to remove from the length of your jeans or pants. Whatever your method, you want to make sure you're leaving yourself an inch of fabric to fold under. Otherwise, your pants will be 1 inch shorter than you intended. I flipped my pants inside out and rolled over the hem about 1 inch and made sure to press quite firmly. I want this to lay flat, so I'm just using some muscle to really make sure that I'm ironing the hem nice and flat. Before doing my second pant leg, I'm making sure both pant legs are the same length and the cuff is the same width, so obviously they match up when I wear them. I am not folding under the raw edge of my fabric. I know this will continue to fray on me. However, the way I am embroidering it, there are many threads to make sure that my pants don't unravel all the way to where it shows completely. I might have threads to cut off here and there, but this is just my decision because I don't want it to be bulky. I just want to lay it nice and flat. After pinning around both legs, I took some thread from my scrap jar and I am using a basting stitch, which is a wide, loose stitch, usually in contrasting thread because it's meant to be cut away later. Before I tie my knot, I give my pants a good stretch to just make sure that it's not bunched at all. I don't want to distort anything as I'm going. Because there are two pant legs, whatever you do to one leg, you do to the other. So I'm just getting some additional scrap thread out of my jar and again base stitching around the edge. I'm making sure to try to stay as close to my raw edge as possible so I give myself a good guide when I'm embroidering. I want to make sure that I'm not embroidering past my hem so everything stays nice and straight. No need to pass your needle through the thick seam of the jeans. I just go right under it. Same thing when I'm doing my sashiko. I just go right around the seam. I don't try to embroider through it because that's cuckoo. When we're finished, we will tie a simple over-under knot after making sure that our pants aren't bunched up. Flip the pants right side out. I am using a ruler so I can measure how wide of a strip on my pattern I would like to cut. This is a 1/4 inch stick and stitch wash away visible mending grid. This is one of many transfer methods that you can use to transfer lines onto clothing to make your stitching nice and neat for your visible mending. I decided to use the jeans that I use as a guide to stick inside my pants to give myself a nice rounded shape. That way my stitch lengths are just more accurate and I am addressing my clothing as it would lie on my body, which is in a round shape, not laying flat. With the grid, it is pretty easy to match up. I cut everything. I want to say this was 1 inch or 1.5, so this is about 5 squares. You can just trim every piece as you need. I cut away a little part of the end of the grid to just make it easier to match up. Once you peel it from its backing, it is pretty sticky. You can just place it right on top of where you are going to stitch. Press firmly, but don't rub. You do want to be careful not to rub away the lines that are printed on there. However, you can redraw them with a fabric pin. Again, whatever you do to one pant, you do to the next. I chose to use matching thread to hem my pants, and I'm using 3 of the 6 strands of embroidery floss. I get a lot of questions how I separate my thread and not get it knotted up, so I wanted to leave an uncut version of that in. Essentially, I just pull them apart slowly and make sure that the end of the thread isn't winding up on me, and if it is, I just try to untangle it before I continue pulling them apart. It's kind of like a telephone cord when it's all tied up. You just got to go a little at a time. I am using the 1/4 inch grid to embroider dashes going vertically along the length of my cuff. I'm embroidering vertical dashes because I don't want to embroider horizontally going all the way around my pant leg. After a while, these threads start getting tighter, and if things are in a vertical stitch or a diagonal stitch, you have some give and some movement where your hem and your fabric can stretch. I am embroidering about 2 lines and then skipping over to the next row. I decided to do staggered stitches. You could do them all in a row or you could do diagonal stitches, whatever you choose, crosses, X's. You can embroider a pattern on here if you would like. It's really up to you. Since I wind up embroidering a lot on all of my clothing, I don't like everything to look like it is embroidered on. I really wanted this to just be subtle, like you could barely see it. Like I said before, I didn't roll up my hem, I just folded it under once because I wanted the final look to lay flat. But these are all choices that I made on my personal taste, and certainly anybody else can do the same technique with the contrasting thread. You can roll under your hem, embroider a pattern. It's really up to you. This is just kind of giving you an idea that you can use hand embroidery to hem your pants pretty easily. And if you need help transferring a stencil, I have those as well. When you're finished, you're going to tie an over-under knot. I have a video on how I like to tie my knots and use the needle to make sure that it's nice and flush to the fabric. You'll snip away the threads, embroider your other pant leg, and you will wash and dry your clothing as normal. All of the supplies I use in my video, including the stick, stitch, and wash away visible mending patterns, can be found on my website. After washing my pants, there are some fraying threads, but like I said, there's so many stitches on these pants, it's really not going to fray much past the embroidery. And this is a look at my new packaging and the final look. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more content, and I'll catch you on the next.